And this is then Pokemon Adventures X and Y Volume 2. And X finally jumps into action to save his little Kanga from Team Flare, and fails. Even though they do get the baby Kangaskhan back. What's revealed is that Team Flare is looking for the secret to Mega Evolution. There's a really interesting and cool few panels in this first chapter where Y is trying to take over the battle when X fails, and the Kalos starters really jump into the scene. Y tries to use Chespin, then X gets a little bit of his talent back in wielding Chespin intelligently. We then meet Professor Sycamore, and he has the 3 original Kanto starters. I love the Kanto starters so much. I choose you, Charmander! He's following footage of the legendary Pokemon, and he and a colleague make a discovery. One has the power to give life, and one has the power to take life. Now, with other legendary Pokemon said to have power over weather, elemental forces of nature, continents and oceans, storms, and other natural processes, is mythology similar to very powerful animistic gods, or the Japanese idea of kami, or nature spirits? And I find this far more interesting than having a one supreme creator god of the Pokemon world, which is why, in my opinion, I did not like the introduction of Arceus. I found Xerneas very reminiscent of the forest spirit from Princess Mononoke, and Yveltal quite similar to the Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's Earthbound Immortal Rarakota, which is what I'd name my Yveltal in Pokemon Y if there is enough character space. Y has an amusing few pages of becoming overcautious when they pass through Santalune City. She doesn't want to stay overnight at inns or hotels anymore because they were almost trapped once by someone working for Team Flare. Understandable. But she stocks up on supplies, drinks, snacks, dirty magazines, and then creates this ridiculous set of rules for them to follow that's very similar to the whole stranger danger narrative that schools were pushing on 80s and 90s kids and was 99% totally useless. She soon lets her guard down a little, and then we get a fun little side story with Shauna, and she gets that Pokemon sword we see her wielding on the cover, and that leads into a very interesting little story, and we get X slowly get back into action. Team Flare's plan on trying to snatch the Megastone from X is actually pretty clever. It begins as looking like some half-baked scheme that the anime Jesse and James think up, but there's something else going on at the time, and by the time the main characters realize what's going on, it's very nearly worked. This volume introduces several very interesting new plot threads and new characters, and I'm already very much invested in this story, and finding out what X will now become as a trainer.